If you like Mario Kart and you like Mario games and you like the Nintendo GameCube but want to play your games on PC, today I have for you guys the 2024 edition of my Dolphin Emulator tutorial. Back when I started here on YouTube, I started making tutorials for the Dolphin Emulator, and it's been one of the most successful series I have done. But it needs an update. This is the 2024 edition of those tutorials. Today we're going to take a look at the Dolphin Emulator, a little bit more into it, and how to start doing inputs, how to start getting games, and all that. And you probably know me more for playing retro games like Mario Kart or even Pokemon. So let's get started with the Dolphin Emulator. First, what is the Dolphin Emulator? The Dolphin Emulator is an emulator that allows you to play Nintendo GameCube games as well as Nintendo Wii games on your PC without the use of a BIOS file. Although I'm not allowed to show you how to download BIOS files, I am allowed to show you how to download the emulator. And today, this is how you download the emulator: dolphin-emu.org. I will link you in the description on how to, to get this emulator, and you make sure you have your own thing here. You can do Legacy 5.0, 5.0 Dolphin, and you can also do other versions of Dolphin as well. Make sure you have your download for your correct platform before continuing. Once you download your emulator, you also want to get a file extractor. A file extractor allows you to extract files from emulators as well. I recommend 7-zip. It's a file archiver which allows you to extract files. Many of you know about WinRAR. This is like WinRAR but for 7-zip, and it's useful for Windows and Mac. Now let's get into the actual emulator, and I want to show you guys an overview of how the emulator looks like. For that, we're gonna take a look at the screen. So as you guys can see, I am about to open the Dolphin emulator. Welcome to the Dolphin emulator. When you first get your emulator, of course, you're not going to have any games. And I'm going to show you how to get your games in just a quick bit. But today's episode is all about the UI and the overview. As you can see, this is Dolphin Emulator 2 5.0 2100888. This is version number 2021,088. So when you first start getting your emulator, obviously you're not going to have any games yet, so it's going to say something about double click to select a path. We're going to go over the options and how to do stuff like this in just a quick bit. Let's talk about the options. You have your file option, you have your emulation option, you have your movie option, you have your configuration, which we will go over in a different episode. We have your tools, we have your view, and we have your help. Below that are a few buttons: open, refresh, play, stop, full screen, screenshot, configuration, graphics, and controllers. We'll go over controller input in a different episode, but just note that PS4 controllers like this one I have here will work with this, as well as USB compatible controllers that are like PS5, PS4, all that good stuff will be compatible with this as long as it is a USB connection. Let's go over the options a little bit more in depth. File allows you to open an emulation, an EMU, an emulator ROM. Emulation allows you to do save states, load states, frame advancement, screenshots, toggle full screen, reset the game, etc. Movie has something to do with the actual like movie area, including tasks. For those of you who are not aware, TAS stands for Tool Assisted Speedrun. A tool assisted speedrun is using a tool that allows you to put in button inputs at correct point. They basically, if you've seen awesome games done quick, you know about tasks. That's tool assisted speedrun. You can also show the lag counter, frame counter, input display, and system clock if you wish to do so. That is not mandatory, but it is there if you are interested. Now, the frame counter, the input display is more for controllers. We'll get into that in a quick bit later on. Options include configuration, graphics, audio, controller, hotkey, and free look. Free look is more for the camera. Tools, if you guys want to do some tools, including the following: classic Gamecube main menu, memory card manager, as well as Wii saves and export. If you know how to use your Nintendo Wii and put your things in here, then that's for you. NetPlay allows you to play games with your friends with the emulator. You can also do Cheats Manager, although I don't recommend it if you are trying to do a speed run. You can also do Resource Pack should there be one. View is more for how the game list, like log configuration, list columns, grid view, all that good stuff. And if you need some help, this is for you as well. Now let's take a look at the buttons in more detail. Primarily speaking, these buttons right here: configuration, graphics, and controllers. Take a look at the configuration menu for more details. We'll go over this in more detail in its particular video down the line. General talks about enable cheats, match mismatch region settings, and changing this automatically. Those are for like options where there's a disk. For example, Resident Evil 4 had two disks. So if you if you use this option, you can change this automatically without going back to the menu. Speed limit is the speed of the game. That's very simple. Auto update. I put don't update, but you can auto update the thing. Fallback region is NTSCU for United States. Okay. And the usage statistic reporting settings if you want to do that. We have the interface. Just talking about the interface of the thing, nothing too out of the ordinary there. Audio, talking about the audio. The default phone is DSP8LE. Path, path is where you set the path of where your emulators are, your emulation, your ROMs are, for example. You just have to add a path to your games. You can make a folder if you wish, or you can go to the downloads area to make it easier. GameCube is for the GameCube, obviously. The reason why you don't need the BIOS file is because you already have it. It's already preset in there, so you don't need to download nothing. Okay. You also can do, because GameCube has a technical GameCube has two slots, slot A and B, for memory card. You can also input like a memory card in there should you want to do so, like a memory card dummy, GCI, USB Gecko, advanced game port, or microphone. Games like Mario Party 6, I believe, have a microphone game mini game if you wish to do so. We'll go over that later on how to employ that when the time comes. We also have the GBA settings for Game Boy Advance. For certain games, had a implementation of the Game Boy Advance. If you guys don't remember, don't worry. That's like classic days. I don't even remember it either. But that is for you if you want to use the GBA. Wii is for the Nintendo Wii part of the emulator, including the following: USB keyboard, Wii Connect 24 via Wii Link. If you have that thing, you also have SD card files, and you can convert that too. You also have the Wii remote settings in the sensor bar and all that good stuff. There is an adapter if you wish to buy one, but I don't recommend it right now if you're still new. The advanced settings is for those of you who know about advanced memory override, clock override, clocking, all that good stuff. Make sure you understand what you're doing, however, because this is very, very straight advanced material that I'm not going to be able to teach you just because I'm not I'm not authorized to teach it because I'm not learned enough yet about clocking, if you will. So if that is for those of you who are nerdy enough to understand this stuff, I'm only going to be teaching about how to start getting games, how to fix settings, and all that good stuff. Next, let's take a look at graphic settings. For even more details, you can do OpenGL, which is the default. The aspect ratio is auto. You can start in full screen or VSync off and on. If you are using NetPlay, you can show off the ping, NetPlay messages, and you can also render the main window or adjust the window size. You also have some shader compilation if you wish to do that. Enhancement, you can also change the window size, anti-aliasing, anti-aliasing, texture filtering, and all that good stuff that you see in normal games. Make very, very careful that you have to watch, test it out first. Hacks is for those who are interested in more technical stuff about this, including the GPU texture decoding, the FEB, copies texture only, and all that cool stuff. Advanced allows you to show your VPS, FPS, frames per second, and VPS as well. You can also show your speed percentage if you guys want to test something out. You can also do some cropping, and you can also do other cool stuff like borderless full screen, and all that cool stuff. And finally, for this tutorial, controllers. We will go take a look at this in more detail in another video, but this is what you can expect. Port 1 is your player 1 with the standard controller. You can also choose between the following. You have you have the standard controller, which is like your PS4 controller with USB connection. You have a GameCube adapter for Nintendo Wii U. You have the steering wheel like for Mario Kart. You have the dance mat for like the Bloodlight DDR. You have the DK bongos for DK. I forgot the name though, but I know there was a DK game with bongo. You also have the GBA Game Boy Advance integrated or a GBA TCB, and you have a keyboard controller. If we press on configure, we can see this, and I'm going to show you how to do this in that video too. But basically, what you need to know now is that this is how you do your inputs for your controllers. PS5, Xbox, PS4. I recommend you to purchase a or PS4 controller or some controller that is USB compatible. I have PS4 controller here because this works with this stuff. Keep in mind that I have cross, circle, square, triangle because I use a PS4 controller, so it will copy the number there. Please make sure to put this based on the game you are playing, however, because each game has different controls. So make sure you always come back to this. We also have the following for Wii remotes. If you want to play a Nintendo Wii game, like for example Super Mario Galaxy, you can also use your controller to emulate a Nintendo Wii remote. For example, but you also have different options. For example, none emulated Wii remote or real Wii remote. Using an adapter, you can actually use the adapter to to get a real Wii remote. Keep in mind that if you're brand new, I recommend not doing the real Wii remote. Do an emulated one because you get to use your controllers too. So if you go to the configure here, you have your buttons. For example, the A button is click 0. That is based on the keyboard, by the way. You can also do B, 1, 2, minus, plus, home screen. Up, down, left, right, hotkey, sideways toggle, up, right, up, toggle, all that good stuff. If you have the nunchuck, with nunchuck extension, you can also attach like the numbers and all that good stuff. We're gonna go over this in controllers later on. You can also do another extension, for example, nunchuck classic controller. If you guys remember, there was a classic controller for the Nintendo Wii that allows you to play the Wii games for the shop. They also have the guitar for like rock band, classic drum kit, drum kit for rock band, DJ turntable for DJ Hero, U Draw game tablet for I believe the Drawn to Life game, Draw some tablet, Taiko drum, Shinsaken controller. I have no idea what that is, so please do understand that I'm not aware of what a Shinsaken controller is, so please understand that. We also have other options, for example, speaker pan, battery, upright remote, and sideways remote for those of you who play something like Mario Golf, Mario Baseball, Mario Super Sluggers, for example. And you can also make your own profile. So for example, if you want to make this profile for Mario Galaxy, all you have to do put profile, put Mario Galaxy and save it. All you have to do there. And then press close and there you go. This is the overview of the Dolphin Emulator for 2024. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help. And our next episode for this tutorial, we're actually going to get into how to start getting your games and we can start configuring controls. Until then, live life to the fullest. This is Yuki once again. Welcome back to the Dolphin Emulator tutorials for 2024. Links will be in the description if you would like to download the stuff. Enjoy.